So in today's episode, we'll be working on the Alliance 3 mission, which is you have to earn 20 assisting kills in 10 battles by having your teammates kill them either from your spotting or tracking them. Now, for me, based on the nations, I really only had the T-49 and the Sheridan as viable tanks, and I will say this mission took me quite a few attempts where I would come incredibly close. I'm talking, 19, 18 kills and failing on the 10th mission. What I have learned off of it is lighting is really a balancing act. It's how am I able to go out and spot enemy vehicles? And you need to be sort of aggressive, take aggressive positions like myself on Westfield here. I'm using these center bushes. I can spot the entire zero line, and I actually get spotted there because I pushed too far forward and went through an opening, a gap in that bush. I don't know if you just saw it right there. But it's learning how to play aggressively, but not so aggressive that you end up YOLOing and dying. For this mission set, I ended up using the T-49 for all my games. I have the T-49 and the Sheridan. Those are my only two tanks that I have in this branch. The Sheridan, I felt at tier 10 was just so outclassed by all the other tier 10 lights and mediums. It wasn't that effective. The T-49 I felt was better tier for tier. I could also see the M41 Walker Bulldog or even a lot of the British lights. I've never played any of them, but I know they have incredible camo and view range, so I could see them being feasible too. So once you pick the tank that you want to play, that you want to get your lights in, I recommend a light tank. The next part of it is going to be ensuring that your first game out of the 10 battles that you have to play is a good one. You don't want to start your match on a one spotting kill run. You want to keep resetting that until you get 3, 4, 5 spotting kills on your first game to give you the highest likelihood of getting the mission done. This next match here really shows why you need to have a good first game, because this one, while I do manage to get a great shot there, it's going to be quite a short game where I don't get any spots at all. So you need a high spotting game where you're 4 or 5 to make up for these awful games that I just had there. Now back to the balancing act I originally referred to. So I'm on Mannerham line, I believe, and I usually like to take the mid bush to spot across and see everyone going up the one line. So I light, one tank, and I end up sitting here. But if I'm looking at the map now, most of my team is not pushing out of base. We have so many TDs on the perch. We have a Progetto 46 sitting in the back, and I realize that now. In most of the games I've played in, you would hear your teammates complaining that, push out of base, you guys are losing this match. And I don't necessarily believe that. I think it makes more sense. Play with what your team is giving you. What are they doing? So what I decide to do is, because I know that they're going to be able to push right across the AB line, I'm going to actually move back to the base. And I ended up getting a full HP spot on that T-34. Is it a T-34 or a TS5? I can't read it on the screen right now. But regardless, I'm falling back in the base, and I want to be able to spot for my teammates that are now sniping. In a lot of games that I've played of World of Tanks, you'll hear of people saying, or essentially one person driving into a flank of the map with absolutely no support, and then complaining that his teammates let him die. And this is a good example of, I was very close to being in that situation, driving to the middle of the map with no support on either side. But instead I said, no, what? I'm not going to just sit here and wait to die. It makes a lot more sense to reposition on the map and be in a spot that can help my team. So because there's people in the corner, I'm just sitting here trying to get some lights. I end up relocating because it was just nothing was coming of it. They stopped pushing once they started getting punished for moving up on that side. And this really highlights what I think makes a better light gameplay. If I just went to this normal scouting position, I would have died off the start. Because I was able to relocate and kind of flex based on what the other team and my team were doing, I ended up coming out of this game with a couple of spotting assist kills, which is exactly what I wanted 2 keeps me on track for the target. One tip to help you improve your T49 gameplay: when you're actually seeing an enemy, pre-aim your gun before poking. That way your reticle is smaller. Just like right now, I can actually derp him and get him out of the game. That way you give your opponents a lot less time to prepare and react to you being spotted. So my next match is on Fisherman's Bay, and I'm in the mid, and I see a Char mill coming around. I miss my shot. He misses his 3. He then puts 3 more into my teammate, and now I'm on a reload, and he's on a 45-second reload. So this is what I'm going to go for. I want that 900 damage round. I want to get him out of the game. Oh, he's low. All right. You know what? I'll go to finish him off, and what ends up happening? I end up tracking him. Now, this is another reason why the T49 is great for this type of mission. That track shot, that counts as an assistance kill. Somehow I also get that snapshot on that 1390, which was just dirty. When you get those 900 alpha pens, it just feels so good and also so wrong at the same time. While these missions do take a fair amount of skill to complete, there's also a fair amount of luck involved, and I do want to highlight that because it is very map dependent. I don't know if people have tried going for tracking kills. I did not myself. I wasn't successful with that. Granted, I only tried Super Conk and maybe I think it was the M48 patent trying to go to track wheel wells, but people have their kits. They come off cooldown a lot quicker now, and I just didn't have any luck for it. So for me, lighting was the way, and it is very map dependent. You have to have the right series of maps to give you the best shot at it. You know, if you get Ensk Himmels and then another Ensk back to back to back, which has happened, your odds of getting people killed from your spotting is just dramatically decreased. You know, the odds are against you. So it does take a fair amount of re-rolling off the start, resetting the mission until you find the right match for it. Now, a lot of light tank players do play pretty aggressively in pubs. And I'm not saying that it's good or bad. Sometimes it's warranted where you have to take an aggressive position to be able to see the map and help your teammates know where enemies are going. But a lot of times I feel if off the start of the match you take too aggressive of a position, it does one of two things. One, you can get spotted early on and then just get killed. Two, you can sometimes get stuck where you got into a position that you really can't escape. So as these missions went on, I prefer being passive in the beginning of the games and more aggressive towards the end of the games where tanks are lower and it's easier to get them spotted and killed. And even sometimes you have to be a little creative. I see the Sharp Futura there, and I'm on reload. I end up ramming him to try to track him. It works, and I get an extra kill for my mission. Now, speaking of being more passive, this is a great example. I'm drawing a blank on the map name here, but typically a lot of players will go to the F6, F5-6, E5-6 bush, and what ends up happening is when you go to those bushes, you have two lights coming together. Usually they'll both light each other. Whoever's teammate has better accuracy will take the other one out, and it's a crapshoot if you're going to be successful there or not. What I like to do is go to maybe a less contested part of the map. Still get plenty of spots because I saw that T110E4. I got a nice 1,000 shot or damage shot into him. And now this Centurion is pushing me, which I'm surprised he's being this aggressive. I'm going to go for another 900 alpha. Oh, I miss it. And then sometimes the T49, you know, it has that huge dispersion. You're not going to hit every shot. But right now I'm in the matter of just trying to proxy spot him for my teammates. And he will go down here. I do proxy him. That's an easy kill. Now, I only need 2 more lights actually for my mission. And as the game progressed, I slowly started pinching in. And this is exactly what I mean. I'm spotting the VK there, the VZ on the one line, and a couple of the other heavy tanks as they poke up. And that's why the light tanks are so much more valuable. My team can be further back sniping, where I can just kind of slowly push in, light the enemy tanks, and it helps your team win more too. That's the other thing. You have to be aggressive at the right times. Not all the time, but in the right moments. And I end up getting my mission completed there. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing and potentially checking out one of my other videos. Thank you all and have a great day.